प्रसीद प्रसीद मातः जगतोऽखिलस्य प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरि पाहि विश्वं त्वमीश्वरी देवी चराचरस्य त्वं वैष्णवी शक्तिरनन्तवीर्या विश्वस्य बीजं परमासि माया सम्मोहितं देवि समस्तमेतत् त्वं वै प्रसन्ना भुवि मुक्तिहेतुः।
Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sri Matre Namaha. We continue with Devi Mahatmyam, and today we will talk about chapter 9 and 10, and this is about the slaying of Nishumbh and Shumbh by Devi. Now, King Suratha, who was listening to the Devi Mahatmyam from the Enlightened Rishi, said, O Divine Being, this narrative that you have recounted to me about the death of the seed of desire, that is Raktabija, and the greatness of the goddess is wonderful indeed. O revered Rishi, now I wish to hear how the outraged Shumbh and Nishumbh reacted following the death of Raktabija. Then Rishi said the following. After the death of Raktabija and other Rakshasas in the battle, then Shumbh and Nishumbh became so angry, and their anger was limitless. Seeing that his extensive army was being killed in this way, Nishumbh was so outraged, and he marched towards Devi with his foremost army. He marched forward with all these great Rakshasas in front of him, behind him, and surrounding him, and all of them expressed anger by biting their lips and grinding their teeth, and they came to kill the great Devi. The extremely valiant Shumbh also came with great anger, along with his army, to do battle with all the divine mothers, with all these divine Shaktis, and then to slay she, the Ambika, who tears apart demons. Thereupon there broke the most fierce battle between Shumbh and Nishumbh and Devi. And these two asuras, just like thunder clouds, they released the most dreadful torrent of arrows. Those released arrows from the asuras were immediately cut into pieces by the return of the arrows from Ambika or Chandika, the one known to tear apart the Rakshasas and wounded their bodies. Then Nishumbha's commander took a sharp sword and a radiant shield and struck the goddess lion mount upon the head. So he struck this divine lion upon the head. After mothers lion was wounded. Then Devi Chandika immediately cut the sword into pieces with her arrows, and also she cut the shield Nishumbha's commander, which was inlaid with 8 moons. When his sword and shield were torn into pieces, then this Rakshasa unleashed his form, another manifestation of himself, but the goddess cut it also into pieces by her discus. Nishumbha's commander then threw his pike to kill Devi, and she instantly pulverized it as it approached her with a blow of her fist. Then he grabbed a club and hurled it at Devi Chandika, and that too she tore apart with her trident and reduced it to ashes. The Mahadevi, known to tear apart the Rakshasas. Thereafter, Nishumbha's commander approached her with battle axe in his hands, and then Devi Chandika let loose a multitude of arrows, and having wounded him, she put him to rest on the earth. Now, seeing his extremely valiant Nishumbha's commander thus laid to rest on the earth, Shumbha was greatly agitated and infuriated, and he approached to kill the mother of the universe. Now, mounted on his chariot, and with his 8 arms carrying the magnificent weapons, he covered the entire sky in wonderful brilliance. He covered the entire sky with his arrows, the whole of in an instant. Then Devi sounded her conch and made an excessively unbearable noise from the twanging of her bowstring. Further, the sound of her bell, which destroys the splendor of all Rakshasas, pervaded in all directions. Thereafter, Devi's lion roared, and this roar filled the earth, the atmosphere, and the 10 intermediate directions. And hearing this lion roaring, then even the greatest kings of elephants, they lost their minds. Then Mother Kali, the remover of darkness and ignorance, sprang into the field, and with her 2 hands she pounded the earth. And when she pounded the earth with her 2 hands, this made such a terrible noise that all the preceding sounds were drowned out. Thereafter, Mother Kali, who is the emissary for Devi, gave an inauspicious laughter of severe intensity. Hearing this, all the asuras began to shudder, and Nishumbha went into a wild rage. Then Devi said to Nishumbha, "O wicked one, stand fast." And then the voice of the gods rose in the environment, and they started shouting in joy, "Victory to you, O Devi, victory to you." Then Nishumbha, as he was approaching Devi, he released an extremely fearful luminous missile which was advancing like a mountain of fire. and then Devi also thrust a great flame of fire and put it away. Then Shumbha let out a cry, a lion-like cry, and the whole environment of the three worlds was pervaded by that sound. But then from Devi came the frightful clap of thunder which conquered all other sounds. In this fierce battle now, Nishumbha and Devi cut one another's arrows by the thousands. Then the great Devi, who tears apart the demons and who is always decorated with the incense, threw her divine pike at him and wounded him, and Nishumbha fell to the ground senseless. Then Nishumbha regained his consciousness and picked up his bow and struck Devi and then Mahakali and the lion with arrows. Again the king of Rakshasas, the son of Diti, manifested 10,000 arms and attacked the mighty Devi, who tears apart the Rakshasas and blanketed her with a stream of discuses. Then Durga, the mightiest Devi, the almighty that she is, the Mahashakti that she is, grew very angry and cut all those discuses, the chakras, and arrows with her own arrows. Seeing this, Nishumbha grabbed his club and, accompanied by his army, rushed forward to kill this Mahashakti who tears apart the demons and destroys all the afflictions. Then this Mahadurga cut his club with a sharp-edged sword, and Nishumbha then seized a pike. As Nishumbha, the tormentor of gods, the tormentor of dharma, approached with pike in his hand, then Mahadurga, who tears apart the demons, swiftly pierced him in the heart with her own pike. Then, emerging from the heart pierced by the pike, came forth a person of great strength and valor, and crying, "Stop, stop!" With a very loud laughter, Devi severed his head with her sword, and he fell to the ground. Then the lion crushed the necks of many of Nishumbha with his fierce teeth and ate them, while Mahakali, the remover of darkness and ignorance, and for whom Shivaduti is her emissary, devoured others. Some great Rakshasas perished, pierced by the Mahadurga, the ever pure one, while others were deprived of their splendor and repulsed, being sprinkled by the holy water by Brahmani. Many Rakshasas were cut by the trident of the Shakti of Maheshwara, the seer of all. Now this Shakti is Maheshwari. While others were ground to dust by Varahi, the one who brings union with the divine. The discus or the Sudarshan Chakra of Vaishnavi, the Shakti of Mahavishnu, who is all pervading and removes all confusions, cut several asuras into pieces. And then Indrani came with her thunderbolt, Vajrayudham, and released it from the palm of her hand and slayed many other Rakshasas. Some Rakshasas perished, others fled from the great battle, while still others were devoured by Mahakali, who is the remover of darkness and who destroys all the enemies and ever devoted to Shivaduti and Pashupati. Now here ends the 9th chapter, named Nishumbh vadha from Devi Mahatmyam in Savarnika Manvantra in Markandeya Purana. Swasti, well-being to all. We continue with chapter 10. On seeing his brother Nishumbha, who was as dear as his own life, killed, and seeing the annihilation of his very strong and extensive armies, then Shumbha spoke in anger. O Devi, wicked and proud of your strength, do not show your misplaced pride to me. Your sense of self-importance is a great shame. You fight by relying on the strength of others. Then Mahadevi, Mahachandika, Mahadurga said, O wicked one, I am the only one here in this perceivable world. I am all that there is. No other exists beyond me. I am the Mahashakti and the Adishakti. Behold all these manifestations of my Shakti. They enter into myself and they come out of myself. Thereupon, all the goddesses, all the Shaktis, led by Brahmani, merged into the being of Mahadevi, and then there was only one existence in the perceivable world, the mother of the universe. Jagannatha further said, I was present here in myriad forms, which were the myriad manifestations of my own Shakti. Now I have withdrawn all these Shaktis into me, and now I stand alone. Be resolute to fight. Now a dreadful combat ensued between the goddess and Shumbha, while the gods and all the asuras looked on. With showers of arrows, sharp weapons, and incredible missiles, the combat appeared frightful to all the worlds. The Mother of the Universe unleashed hundreds of divine missiles, which were cut by Shumbha by his defensive weapon system. And the excellent missiles that Shumbha hurled were playfully cut by the Supreme Sovereign Devi with dreadful incantations of Hum and other mantras. Then this Asura enveloped the goddess with hundreds of his arrows, and enraged at this, Devi cut off his bow with her arrows. Now, with his bow broken, the king of the Rakshasas took up his Shakti missile, and that was cut by Devi with her Sudarshan Chakra. Then the king of the Rakshasas took his luminous sword and the shield which was inlaid with 100 moons and rushed at Devi. and Devi immediately cut off his luminous sword and also destroyed his shield. Then, with his horses slain, his bow broken, and his charioteer killed, this Asura, Shumbha, picked up a fierce mace in order to kill the mother of the universe. Now Mahadevi, seeing him approaching, she cut his mace with her sharp arrows, and whereupon he reached towards her with great speed to strike her with his upraised fist. The leaders of the Rakshasas brought his fist down on the heart of the goddess, while Devi struck him on the chest with her palm. Here Devi is not using a weapon when Shumbha does not have the weapon. Shumbha, struck by the blow of the palm, he fell to the ground, but the king of Asuras immediately got up. Then springing up and seizing Devi, he rose up into the sky, and there also Mahadevi waged a battle with him without any underlying support, there in the sky without the support of the earth. There up in the sky, Devi waged the war with Shumbha and caused unprecedented astonishment to all the seers on, all the devas, the sages and the rishis who were on looking on. Then after a long encounter, the mother of the universe raised him above, spun him around and hurled him to the earth. Then Shumbha, having struck to the earth, he hastily got up and raised his fist and rushed towards Devi. To kill her, the mighty Devi who tears apart the Rakshasas. Seeing the approach of this mighty king of Rakshasas, Devi pierced him in the chest with her pike and knocked him to the ground. Pierced by the sharp point of the goddess's pike, he fell dead upon the ground, shaking the entire earth with its oceans, its islands and mountains. The whole of the universes shook and quaked. When that wicked one was killed, the whole of the perceivable creation and the universe were greatly pleased, and the whole of the nature regained its natural condition, and all of the nature became peaceful, and the whole sky became clear. The blazing clouds became tranquil after his demise, and the rivers flowed in their natural courses. On his death, all the devas became overjoyed, and the celestials sang sweet songs, and the apsaras danced around. The Gandharvas played their musical instruments. A pure breeze began to blow, and the sun shone, and the sun shined radiantly. The sacred fires of the yagyas blazed brightly in peace, and peaceful became the fearful sounds which had filled in all directions. Now it is important to understand here that all the natural impulses who would administer the natural laws of this infinite dharma under the rulership of Indra and the guidance of Mahavishnu the cosmic administrator. They were all under siege by these Rakshasas. Now the natural laws and the natural impulses are free. All these devas or the devatas responsible for these natural laws are now free in freedom, and hence dharma is re-established. Here comes the end of the 10th chapter, named Shumbh vadha, from Devi Mahatmyam in Savarnika Manvantara in Markandeya Purana. Swasti, well-being to all. Jai Gurudev, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Rajo Raja Viditramidamakya Mahatmyam